Greetings, fellow YouTubers. This is the Budget Army channel with yet another exciting edition of the Overly Tactical Chef. Now today, because it's raining outside, well actually for no particular reason, we're going to do beef fried rice. That's right. Don't I look like the type of guy that does beef fried rice on a regular basis? Well actually I don't, but what we're doing today is a Japanese style beef fried rice. There's not a lot of difference, but there is some. It's easy to do, and it makes for a whole meal, so you're going to like it. Now the first thing that I like to do is cut the beef. So make sure I have a really sharp knife, and I like to cut it in small, not quite cubes, probably not quite dice it, probably a little bit bigger than just dicing it. So, but I still want to keep them bite-sized, and you want to keep them uniform so that they'll cook evenly. Okay, so I start by slicing them lengthwise this way, and this is just like eye of round. You don't need an expensive cut of beef at all, because just you're gonna fry it up and mix stuff with it, and put sauce over it. So you're looking for a piece. Let me see. Probably about. Let me see if I can find a good example. Piece is probably about like that. Okay. So you want to get all about that same size. And I'm being a little sloppy here, but this does work, trust me. I've cut up a whole bowl full of beef using this method. At least close to a whole bowl full of beef. So I like a lot of beef in my beef fried rice. Some people don't, but I like my beef kind of hearty. My fried rice a little hearty. So that's, I don't know how much that is, but I would put in as much as you want. You could trim the fat off the meat if you want, but honestly, do I look like the kind of guy that trims the fat off his meat? No. Okay, so once you have that, then you can go ahead and steam your vegetables. If you have a steamer, and use frozen vegetables, or if you have fresh vegetables, that's fine. I just have a mixture of peas, carrots, and green beans. Those seem to work really well. The reason why you don't want to use canned is because they're already mushy. And you don't want mushy vegetables in fried rice because it just gets all combined with the rice, and that's just not very good. So we'll start with that. Be sure to clean your knife off after you've used it, because you never want to put away a dirty knife in its sheath. Well, I'm going to go ahead and set up the cooking apparatus, and I'll be right back. Okay, before I go on, I do want to show you my little portable gas burner. A lot of you guys have probably seen them. I mean, they're mostly available, or most commonly available in like Asian markets, things of that nature. They usually run about 20 bucks. This thing is probably about 20 years old, 15 to 20 years old. I haven't had it that long. Actually, it was in my parents' house for a while, but they never use it. So I said, since you're not using it, I'm going to go ahead and put it to good use. But for all of you survivalists and WROL guys, this is a great portable little stove. It takes these cans of, I don't know what this is, propane? Butane, I'm sorry. It's cans of butane. Just stick them in there, and you have to make sure that this is all the way up, this is on the right side, and you have a tab up here. Just push down, and there you go. Now, I of course am using, that's right, a wok. Now, do any of you remember about 20 years ago that infomercial for the genuine hand-hammered wok? Well, that is one of them right there. That's right. And I forgot one of my utensils. Yes, I did buy something off the TV a long time ago, but you know what? It's held up great, and it works just like they said it does. So, Chinese style cooking or Asian style cooking, there are certain principles. So you do want to turn your heat up. You want to put it up on high. You want to let your wok heat up. You want to make sure it's nice and hot. Believe me, you can take the heat. Now I'm going to use vegetable oil. You don't want to use olive oil because you need something with a high flash point or a high temperature that you can get really hot without smoking. I'm going to use canola oil here because actually it has a fairly high flash point. Peanut oil is probably what's most commonly used, but peanut oil is a little more expensive, and I don't have any right now. And plus, there's more, fat and stuff in peanut oil. So even though I haven't trimmed the fat off my beef there, I'm not gonna add any more than I absolutely have to. So you know, there are some concessions that I'll make. But let me go ahead and let the wok heat up here. Okay, the wok is getting nice and hot. You can see by all that smoke coming up. So whenever you have, whenever you're cooking in a wok, you want to be sure your wok is hot and your oil is cold. Do you remember the Budget Gourmet Jeff Smith, the guy that was busted for, I don't know, some child molestation thing or something like that? Anyway, his whole saying was, hot wok, cold oil, food won't stick. And you know what? It's absolutely true. So I want to make sure this is nice and hot. I'm going to put some oil in there, make sure it gets around the sides. I'll swish it around. Notice how it's smoking. Now what the Japanese will do is they will cover the surface, oops, of the wok with oil, and then they will dump out what they call the scorched oil. So I'm just going to dump it out there, and they will actually put more oil in there, but I don't think it needs it. Then I've got 4 eggs here that I've got well beaten here. Now the Japanese like a lot of egg in all their dishes, so fried rice is no exception. So you put all of it in there, just dump it right in, and you want to be sure it's used. Don't let it sit and burn. You want to cook. You don't want to cook it all the way. You want to cook it till it's about 80% done, because it'll finish cooking when you're doing the rest of your fried rice. So you want to keep it moving. You notice because the wok isn't hot and it's coated, or the wok is hot and it's coated with a generous portion of oil, that the egg is not sticking, even though this wok is scorching hot. So you want to be sure you get it, you know, pretty evenly cooked. Like I said, you want to get it to about, probably to about that point right there. I don't know if you can see that. But then set it aside. And you do want to clean out your wok, so let me go ahead and do that really quick. Okay, I went ahead and cleaned the wok out, and I'm going to go ahead and heat it back up because it's cooled down when I wash it out with the water. Don't use any soap or dishwashing detergent in woks like this, because it'll get stuck in the nook and crannies, and you don't want soapy food at all. So I like to wait till the water's completely dried out of it. You know, wait till it gets nice and smoking again. Because next we're gonna brown our beef, and the beef we're gonna actually cook all the way. So that's not something you want to cook at 80% like you did the egg. So I want to make sure this gets nice and hot. Yeah, put your hand in there, touch the surface to make sure, and when your hand starts sizzling, you know it's hot enough. No, don't do that. Do not do that. That's bad. That's very, very bad. So it looks like it's heating up nicely. And it's feeling nice and hot. So once again, pour the oil in there. Of course, the oil will start smoking. Swish it around. Make sure you coat, you know, as much of the inside as possible. Get rid of the excess oil. You're going to have the stuff on the sides collect at the bottom. And there's your beef. Throw it on in there. And just keep moving it around. The thing about wok cooking is that it's done at a high temperature. And so it cooks and sears your meat very quickly. And generally speaking, as a whole, it needs less oil than you usually would in like a skillet. Oh, I lost some beef there. That's okay. I've got plenty. No, I can't do all that fancy flipping and stuff. I can do a little bit, but actually the wok is set a little bit higher than I like. I'm a pretty short guy, so get a little toss in there. Make sure that everything is nice and brown and burned. Got my heat up all the way. Now I like to drain the meat actually, because I don't need extra liquid in my fried rice. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to set the rice or the beef aside as well. Okay, I'm letting my wok heat up again, as you can see, because now we're going to fry the rice. Yes, you actually fry the rice separately. That's why it's called, well, fried rice. So, as it heats up there, it's probably going to be hot enough right there. Once again, you're going to add your oil. Coat the surface evenly. Don't get any on you because it's hot. And it could burn. Burning's bad. Bad, 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 bad. Okay, so dump the excess oil. Heat back on. And then you want rice that's a day old. You don't want fresh cooked rice, and actually long grain rice works really well because it's more separate. This is actually an Asian style rice, so it's short grain, but it'll work just fine. Oops. Heat it up. Go ahead and grab it and put it in there. And any extra rice you happen to have, put it in there also. Break it up if you can. Then what you want to do is, of course, you want to fry it, and you want to actually break it up. Because you want the grains to be separate as much as possible. Now this is probably the, oh man, the most unfun part is like, especially if you have a lot of rice that you're trying to break up. Excuse my mess. It's hard to do at an angle from the camera there, but let me go ahead and keep pounding this rice out, keep frying it, and I'll get back to you. It's going to take a while. Okay, this is probably about as good as I'm going to get it because the rice really was a little bit too moist. I tried not to put as much water in, but I did. Anyway, okay, when you get to this point, you want to put your egg in. Remember that egg we cooked way back when? And you want to mix it in. Ooh, my hand's getting tired. And it'll finish cooking. Yeah, some rice is going to stick to the bottom of the wok. And it's just a fact of life. Okay. Once you get that stuff all tossed in there and good and yummy, put your beef in. Get that all mixed together. Make a nice big flavor medley, as it were. Whoops. Wife's going to kill me making a huge mess. That's alright. It's all in the name of good food. Okay, now once you get your rice and your egg, your beef all mixed up nice and good here, put your veggies in. My steamed veggies go right in. And once again, give that a nice stir. Now once you have all these main ingredients in, now you can season it with some salt and pepper. Now I'd usually also throw in some green onion, but unfortunately, you know what? A lot of green onion. So you salt and pepper to taste. I like pepper. My wife and kids don't like pepper as much as I do, so I'll go easy. You know, salt. You don't want too much in there, but this is a lot of rice in here, so. Okay, now it's mixed really well, and there's one last ingredient that you need. So let me clear this off here. That is this, your tactical soy sauce. So this is probably going to be the most common sauce used. They do have other sauces that are used, but to me soy sauce is probably going to be the best. You don't want to use a whole lot because soy sauce is actually pretty strong. Now the key is that you don't want to put it directly on the rice. You actually want to put it in the wok. So you put it around the edges and then fold everything in. And this, of course, will change the color of the rice especially, and you want to mix it till it's pretty much evenly colored. Ooh, my hand's killing me. Well, I did make a lot. Holy cow. What was I thinking? Looks like my family will actually get to eat with me. Okay. And probably just a little more on the outside. Yeah, nice sizzle. Fold it back towards the middle, at least that's what I do. Seems to work for me pretty well. So I'll finish stirring this, I'll be right back. Okay, I've turned my heat down and it's done cooking and mixing. So just serve it up on a plate or a bowl. I just have a little bit here. Kind of sample it, so to speak. And there's our finished product. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and taste it because I've been sitting here looking at it. Turned out really nicely. I'm gonna keep eating this for a while. If you don't have a wok, by the way, you can do it in a large skillet. The steps are pretty much going to be the same. You probably don't want to have your heat quite as high, and also remember that the oil is going to not settle to the bottom like it does to the wok. But other than give it a try, you can use, you know, pork or chicken. You can leave meat out if you're a vegetarian, just use the vegetables. Or the egg if you're a vegan, I guess. But it's real simple to do. I think that took me a total of like 20 minutes. The only other thing I would suggest is that make sure your rice is a little bit drier than mine was. And what I would do is I would, you know, cook it the day before and, you know, put it in the refrigerator or something. You know, cover it with plastic wrap because you don't want it too dry. But you want the grains a little more separate than this. This wasn't the best rice to do it with, but it worked. It worked. So, thanks for watching and bon appetit.